Most international students will need to work one way or the other when they make a decision to study in Canada, because they are counting on this money to be able to help them to meet their finances here and their expenses, even though they've told IRCC that they have enough money to be able to meet their tuition fee and their cost of living here. Moreover, for those who don't need to work because of money, they are able to get Canadian work experience during their studies if they work part-time whilst they're still in school. One thing you have to notice that between the 15th of November 2022 to the end of December 2023, some students are able to qualify under the new initiative that was introduced by IRCC to be able to work more than 20 hours. And this applies to only those who were able to submit their study permit application before the 7th of October 2022. So if you were not able to submit your application before then, even if it's approved, you will not qualify under this new initiative. So one thing that you will realize is that when you land in Canada on your study permits, even though we keep telling people that you can work more than 20 hours, it will be stated categorically on your study permits that you can work up to 20 hours off campus. This is an excellent opportunity for most students who are already in Canada to be able to work more than 20 hours whilst they are studying. However, one thing that most people don't find out until they are on this side of the world, that sometimes getting work as a student can be very difficult, even though we keep telling people that there is work available. Some of us were lucky enough that we were able to land our job the first week that we landed in Canada, even though personally I was prepared to go at least the full 1 year of the course without having to work. Others that we started with are still looking for a job, and they haven't found one way or the other because some of them are fixated on a particular kind of job. Sometimes as a student, it might be difficult to learn the kind of job that you want, because the truth is most of these 9 to 5 kind of jobs might want you to be working 5 days a week. But as a student, you might be in class 3 days out of a week. So even though the jobs might be available, you might not be available to work those jobs because your availability doesn't meet a job requirement. So in this video, I'll share with you a few things that you need to know to help you prepare when it comes to landing a job when you arrive as a student. The first one is understand your study permit. As an international student, you need a study permit to be able to study and work in Canada. And this is different from the visa that is put in your passport when your study permit application is approved. The study permit will be issued to you at the border of entry. So that's when they will issue you a document, and on it they will state all the conditions that apply to you when your study permit will expire, when you are supposed to leave the country, and they will state category on it the kind of jobs that you are allowed to do and the ones that you cannot do with your study permit. And they also state on it the number of hours that you are allowed to work as a student. So my advice is make sure to read through it as soon as you receive it before you start running to the exit door. You are allowed to work on a study permit if you are 1, a full-time post-secondary student. 2, you hold a study permit and it's still valid. 3, you have a social insurance number. That is what we normally call a SIN number. Once you meet this requirement, there are 2 types of jobs that you need to know about. First one is on-campus jobs, and the second one will be off-campus jobs. With on-campus job, if you meet the necessary requirements, you are allowed to work an unlimited number of hours. So as long as you can land a job on campus, you are able to work as many hours as you want. So as long as it doesn't interfere with your studies, my advice is you can look into at least getting one of these on-campus jobs. With the off-campus jobs, depending on what is stated on your study permit, you might be restricted to just working 20 hours per week. So it's advisable at least to check your study permit to know the conditions that apply to you. But if you are lucky enough to be part of the few who fall into the new directive that was introduced, then you'll be able to work an unlimited number of hours because you are not restricted to the 20 hours that was introduced in the past. However, if you don't qualify under the new directive and you decide to work more than 20 hours, then at least you are just trying to risk abusing your study permit condition, which can possibly come back in the long run to hurt you. So just be careful. The second point is try to take advantage of the services that are being offered by your school. All schools or universities have resources to at least help students land jobs. Most of these international students support services have helped people in the past land jobs one way or the other, and they can be able to relate to your situation and better advise you on the places that you need to go to help you land job as quickly as possible. They can also help you prepare and even adapt your resume to the Canadian style and help you prepare a cover letter that at least you can use to target jobs, because the thing is, sometimes the resumes that we come with are not tailored to the Canadian style. So if you are applying to jobs with those kind of resumes, you might not be getting through to most of these employers. But by working with the student services, they can help you adapt your resume and help you prepare a cover letter that you can use to target most of these jobs. So try and check them out and see what your school has to offer. Also, they can help you to understand your ability to be able to work on and off campus. They can also help you build connections with other students who possibly have gone through the situation that you are in. Then they can either mentor you and better advise you on the possible routes that you can take to help you at least land what you are actually looking for. And even if you have any questions about job hunting, most of these international student support services on your university campus will be able to support you. My next advice is networking is key, especially in a place like Canada when it comes to job search. One of the most important things that you should do when you decide to start job hunting is to learn to network. Networking helps you find better job opportunities and develop lasting relationships. Most recruiters or even HR professionals here will tell you that the hidden job market in Canada is about 80%, which means that for every one job posting that you see online, there are about 4 of them that are not even posted online, because it gets filled even before they are ready to even be posted online. And most times it's filled through people who are networking, because people are referring people for those kind of jobs. And I can tell you from my own experience, where when I came in the job that I was doing, some employees resigned, and thinking that it will be advertised, what happened was they reached out to most of us and said, do you know anybody who can fit into this role? And people started recommending. So the job did not even get to a job posting online. It was filled before consideration was made to even post it online. So networking can be very key when it comes to job hunting. Most of these jobs are filled through referrals. And if you're able to tap into this market, you'll be able to land a job very fast. And there are different ways that you can do this. First, you can search online for networking events that are happening in the industry that at least you want to work in. You will attend it, shake some hands, speak to people, and meet new people. Then start building connections and friendships from that place. Because now, if they know you are available, when a job opens up, they will be able to at least come to you and say, there's this job available. Are you interested? You can also speak to friends, professors, or even relatives to see if they can connect you to some valuable contacts in the industry that you are trying to at least get into. Though this might sound daunting, once you start doing it, you'll begin to realize that it is very easy to network here. You might get in touch with someone who is looking to fill a role that you might be interested in. So my advice is, don't try to be a loner when you get here, especially when you are trying to find a job. Try to talk to people, get to know people, meet new people, because one of these people that you might get in touch with might be that person who will be able to recommend you or refer you. The fourth one is learn to volunteer. And I know most people don't like doing this because they will say, why should I volunteer and work for free when I'm interested in making money? But the truth is, you'll be surprised the number of people that you will meet who might be in a position to at least help you get into that job that you are looking for. So another thing that you can do as a student to help you land a job very fast will be to at least to learn how to volunteer. This not only helps you to expand your network, but it can also look good on your resume, because your future employers will know that you are somebody who likes to at least volunteer your time for a good cause. In Canada, almost everybody volunteers one way or the other. And for even some students, it's part of their curriculum. They are required to volunteer a particular number of hours in a year. Moreover, you get valuable skills whilst you are volunteering. You will also learn a lot about the Canadian corporate culture. You can volunteer at your student association, a campus club, or even off-campus festivals or courses that are being advertised. And all you might have to do is just offer your time and sometimes your energy to help that cause. Though volunteering might sound like discouraging at first, trust me, it will be worth it if you put your time and energy towards it. My last advice would be avoid any kind of cash-only jobs. A lot of times, some employers might lure you into some underpaid jobs because they know that most international students are desperate for money to be able to at least meet their expenses on a monthly basis. They will tell you that they are paying you by your experience, but my advice is don't fall for it, even if you are desperate. In most of the cases, the salary will even be below the minimum wage, and also most of these employers will be paying you only cash because they'll be trying not to pay other taxes or expenses that might come with at least working with them. And also that will not leave any paper trail for you to be able to come back later and report them for them to be investigated, because with the cash jobs there's no paper trail, and by paying you that way, all he's doing is trying to protect himself one way or the other, whilst also taking advantage of you in the process. Such jobs are called cash jobs or under the table jobs. So never say yes to those kind of jobs. In such jobs, there is no legal contract that's presented to you, so your labor rights can easily be violated. And sometimes when you are caught, you'll be breaching your study permit conditions, so you might find yourself in hot waters. Though finding jobs in your initial days might be very difficult, my advice is don't fall victim to any criminal employer. Try to wait it out sometimes. It might take days, it might take weeks, it might take months, but in the long run, you might land a job. All you have to do is make sure you've prepared your resume, done the proper networking that needs to be done some form of a volunteer if need be, and also make sure that you've at least utilized the resources that are available on your school campus when it comes to the international students support services. All these things, when done properly, can help you land that job that you've always been looking for. These are some of the advice that I have for you when it comes to finding a job. If you got value out of this video, kindly hit the subscribe button and join this family whilst we learn together. And don't forget to share this video with family and friends who might have value out of it. And also remember to hit the like button so that YouTube will see value in this video and send it to other people who might see value in it. Until the next video, cheers.